So we're going to begin this evening's practice with a bolster if you have one. And if you don't, a rolled up pillow will do. And we'll start our opening sequence with a butterfly, so placing the feet together. And then if you're using a bolster, just place the bolster at the very tip of your shoulder blades as you lay back and open up the shoulders. Place the back of the head either on the bolster, or if you need to go up a little higher, just a rolled up blanket there. And just open the palms up. Otherwise, you can do this from the floor and just take a cushion behind you for a little bit of support. Let the knees fall open. If the feet separate a little bit, that's okay as well. And just take time just to settle in here. Just give your body, your mind, time just to arrive on your mat. So just checking in here, just asking yourself, what have you brought to the mat this evening, to your practice? How does your body feel right now? I'm just beginning to check in and notice all the different sensations that make up your physical experience right here. Notice your edges in this posture, a gentle wall of resistance, and the sensations that you feel there. And just checking in with yourself emotionally. So how do you feel at this time, this evening, emotionally? Just checking in with yourself energetically. And mentally. So are you bringing to the mat conversations from earlier today? And just letting the events of today just begin to fade away as you arrive more solidly on the mat here, fully present, open and receptive. Just noticing the wave-like motion of your breath as you breathe in and out here. Noticing, does the breath move freely through you, or is it restricted in some way? So just checking in, no judgment. And as you settle here in this opening pose, begin to rest your awareness more fully on your breath. Noticing the inhale as you breathe in through the right nostril, and the exhale as you breathe out through the left nostril. Inhale left, exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Just one more like this. Inhale left. And exhale right. And just come back to your natural breath. Again, observing all the different sensations that make up your experience here right now. As the breath quietens, just take time just to set an intention for this evening's practice. So what brought you to the mat this evening? What would you like to take away from the practice? And then when you're ready, slowly bringing your knees together. If you're on a bolster, you need to bring yourself up. If you're on the floor, you might like to roll onto your side to make your way to a seated position. We'll place our feet nice and wide here once you arrive in your seat, and then just let the knees fall from side to side in this slow windscreen wiper. Just release any holding in the hips and the legs. And then we'll make our way to our second pose this evening, which is our forward fold, dangling. And so if you do have some blocks or cushions around, you can place them on the floor. And this is one of the rare poses that we actually get to stand up in yin. So our feet are hip distance apart, so the toes are facing forward. You can bend your knees here, so you're folding from your hip crease. Let your head be really heavy. Let the upper body be heavy, and maybe rest the hands onto something. This is just optional. What's really important is that you let the crown of the head become heavy, so the neck is fully lengthened. Get a sense, it's called dangling, so get a sense that you're really just dangling here. You're hanging and just observing the body as it lets go in your forward fold. So as you're hanging here, I'm just going to grab my other phone so I can time us for this. So really focusing on letting go. If your hamstrings are quite open, you can straighten your legs a little bit more. Just see what feels right for your body. Let's have the timer on. Focus on softening your jaw here. Feel your shoulders really heavy. Again, noticing where are your edges? Where do you feel the most sensation? Where do you feel that wall of resistance? And can you rest your awareness there? Can you be fully present here with the sensations in the body and your breath? Now, if hanging like this makes you feel a little bit dizzy, please stop at any time. You can always just bend your knees more, place your forearms on your thighs and lift your head. So do listen to your body. Otherwise, stay here and just try and resist the temptation to move out of the pose. Just keeping your mind fully aware, fully present of everything you're feeling here. Just notice, are the sensations static? Or are they moving, changing? Just using the exhale part of your breath just to let go of something that no longer serves you. Maybe some expectation or self-criticism. And now press into your feet, bend your knees deeply, and then come up nice and slowly. Inhale, feeling into each part of the movement. And as you exhale, take your shoulders down your back. Inhale, shoulders up to your ears. And then exhale, let them down your back again. Good job. Okay, so from here, we're going to move into a squat. If you're not comfortable with your squat, you have an alternative movement. You can come into our long-legged butterfly. So I'll just show you the alternative first. The one that we often open the class with, feet are together, they're away from the body, and you fold over, arms underneath your legs and drop the head down. And if you're comfortable enough to do a squat against your wall or a door, make your way there. We're going to work into our shoulders. So if you haven't seen this before, I'll show you what we're going to do before you make your way over to your door. So we'll start by lifting our right arm. The left hand stays on the floor, and I'll reach my right arm up towards the wall. If it's comfortable to turn the head, turn the head. Otherwise, keep the head wherever it's comfortable. So it's not really important what we do with our head here. Just you're reaching up with the right hand. The right arm is against the wall. And I'm going to time it as well so we don't overcook here. So either arriving in your butterfly into your forward fold or reaching behind. Again, notice, where do you feel the most sensation here? Is it in the squat or is it in the shoulder stretch? So just rest your awareness on the sensations you're feeling. Even visualize you can breathe in and out through those sensations. So just letting your awareness dive deep into what you're feeling. As much as you can, try and soften into this shape. Just breathing in and out of where you feel it the most. Working deep into the shoulders as well as the legs, the hips, the buttocks. It's our last 30 seconds now. Try to stay really present. And then slowly, mindfully, just make your way out. Press into your feet and come up into a gentle forward fold, just gently rocking from side to side. Let go of your shoulders, let go of your hips, your hamstrings. Just nodding your head gently, yes and no. And then when you're ready, we squat down once again, 2 sides. So coming back into it, if you're finding this is a little bit too intense and you've got a block, you can place it underneath your sit bones here. And we'll start again. This time reaching your left arm up. Oops. Need to shimmy over. Either looking up towards the hand or out to the front or anywhere that's comfortable for your neck. So we're not bringing the head or neck into it. Just squatting nice and low. Reaching actively up. Just softening into your edges here. Just breathing into what you're feeling. We're into our last minute here. And then slowly, mindfully make your way out. Come back into a forward fold, a deep forward fold. Bend your knees deeply. Let your head just hang here. Just let go of your shoulders. And then we'll make our way onto the floor. So we're coming into it's a one-legged frog. So I'll demonstrate now. Really good for working the inner hips, the thighs, and the groin. So I'll show you what we do with both legs. I'll just demonstrate on the same side. So again, if you have some cushions or blocks or bolsters, place them out in front for a little bit of support. So when we're coming into frog, I'll start with the right knee. I'll take it out to the side. The knee and ankle are lined up. The foot is at a right angle. And now I'll show you what I'm doing with my left leg. I'm stretching that leg out. So if it was my left knee and ankle, that's stretched out to the side. So it's a one-legged frog pose. If you've got a bolster or a block or a cushion, you could place your head on it here. So just get nice and comfortable. And I'll put the timer on, 2 minutes each side. So it doesn't matter which side you start with. Just make sure the knee is comfortable on the floor. I'm going to start with my right knee and ankle lined up. Stretch out the left leg. Really focusing on the inner thighs here as well, and the inner hips and the groin. And then settle in. The clock has started. So first we just arrive. And then try and soften as much as you can. And just notice the wall of resistance. Just breathing in softness and space. Focusing in deeply on those sensations. Noticing, where do you feel the most sensation here? And just resting your awareness there. Your last 10 seconds now, this side. And slowly, mindfully bring that left leg back in and that right leg in. And just for a moment, just sit on your hips and pause before we make our way to the other side. And then we'll set up for the other side. So this time I'm going to take my left knee and ankle, line them up. Side of the foot is on the floor. And I'll stretch my right leg out. So just take a moment to get into the shape. And the time will start now. Just 2 minutes. So arriving into your edges, resting your awareness there. Working deep into the inner thighs, inner hips. We get to store a lot of old emotion and trauma in all the connective tissue in the hips. To try and stay really present with what comes up here. Physically, emotionally, mentally. So what comes up to distract you from your experience in this moment? So it may be pain, or even energetically, you may just feel exhausted, or frustrated, or bored. So just keep coming back. What is your experience right here, right now? Without any stories. We're moving into our last 20 seconds. So as much as you can, stay fully present. Inner, outer hips. And then slowly, mindfully, just bring your right knee in, your left knee in. And we'll just sit on our heels for a moment and pause. Take a moment for all that rebound effect just to work its way through all the connective tissue. And so from here, we'll come into our toe squat. So stretching your toes. So if you're in last night's class, maybe they're not feeling as uncomfortable. So I'm going to sit on our toes, try and stretch as many of them as you can down to the floor. And we're going to take it for 4 minutes tonight, as much as you can. Try and resist the temptation to move. The only thing, if it becomes really intense, you can just lift the hips up as well. or you could place a cushion between your hips and your heels. So just let the arms just relax down the back here. Shoulders are heavy. And then bring the shoulders up to the ears, inhale. Exhale down the back with a sigh. Just 2 more like this, inhale. Exhale. 1 more like this, inhale. Exhale. Now inhale, open up your arms, open up the chest. And as you exhale, wrap your right arm over your left. Either stay here as you just give yourself a big hug. Take your fingers into your shoulder blades, just massage them here for a moment. And you can either stay here or come into Garudasana arms, eagle arms, forearm to forearm, palm to palm. Reach the fingertips up as you bring the elbows down to the floor. Try and expand your shoulders, expand the collarbones. And then drop the shoulder blades down the back a little. Stay present with what you're feeling across the tops of the shoulders and the base of the toes. Inhale, reach the fingertips up to the ceiling. As you exhale, round over, bring the elbows in towards your belly. Just pause here. And then inhale, open up the arms again. Open the chest, front of the shoulders. Exhale, wrap the left elbow on top of right this time. Walk your hands behind you. Give your shoulder blades a little massage here. And then forearm to forearm, palm to palm. Hands away from the face. Fingers reaching up. Isometrically, just squeezing the forearms together here. Broadening your shoulders. And letting those shoulder blades move down the back. Shoulders away from the ears. Again, breathe into what you're feeling. Across the top of the traps, base of the neck. Base of the toes as well. Inhale here, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, round over, elbows in towards your abdomen. Just pause here. And then inhale, open up your arms again. And then exhale, take your arms down by your side. We'll reach your right arm up and right palm back. And then just take that right palm onto that space between your shoulder blades, using your left arm just to lift that elbow up so we can work into your triceps here. Just a couple of breaths here. And then release. And we'll do the same to the other side. Reach the left arm up, palm facing back, left hand down the back. Use your right arm just to help you lengthen that left arm, elbow to the ceiling. And then release. And slowly, mindfully bring your hands to the floor. Lift the toes off the floor. Take a moment for the blood to just return to the toes. Fresh, oxygenated blood. And when it feels okay, just tap the tops of your feet on the ground. Brilliant. Okay, so what do we got next? Dragonfly. So you may like to come up on a block here or a rolled up blanket, so not so high. We're going to take our legs nice and wide, stretching out through the toes here. If your hamstrings are feeling a little tight this evening, just bend your legs. You could even place a rolled up blanket just underneath your knees as well. See what feels right for your body. We're going to start by lifting, so lengthen. Lift the rib cage up out of the pelvis. Turn the torso to face over the left leg, and we'll come into a forward fold from here. So placing your hands on the floor, or if you can place your hands around the feet, as long as this is not causing a lot of tension here. So you need to be able to soften into it. So arrive over the left leg. We're just going to take 2 minutes in each spot here. Whoops. I accidentally put 20. I think we know the difference. So 2 minutes here. So arrive and soften. So because we're coming over the left side, we might be working nicely into the back of the hips here, the sacroiliac area. As much as you can, soften. Really good for your hamstrings too, for lengthening and stretching the back of your body. Just notice what's happening with the chin. Are you lifting it up, or can you tuck it in slightly, keeping the back of the neck nice and long? As this is yin too, use as many props as you need to. So you might be here and find that placing a cushion on your thigh or beneath your knee is really beneficial to rest your head down. So you find the shape that suits you best here. Just arrive into it fully, just exploring your edges, noticing how you feel. Again, just blending your awareness with your breath and the sensations you're feeling. Slowly, mindfully, just come all the way back up. Inhale. Your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, let them glide down your back. And then we'll do the same to the other side. So press your hands down to lift and lengthen. So you're taking the ribs up and out of the pelvis, turning the torso to face over the right leg, and then pouring your body over from here. So you're not trying to bring your knee to your nose to your knee. You're just lengthening and then just arriving. And again, if you have cushions and you'd like to support your head, feel free. Each side may feel a little bit different. So find your edges and then just soften into them. Again, notice what's happening with your neck. Can you lengthen the back of your neck? Tuck your chin in slightly. Soften your jaw. And slowly, mindfully come all the way up. Inhale, shoulders up to your ears. And exhale away from the ears. And then lastly, we'll come forward for dragonfly. You can take some blocks or cushions or even your bolster out the front or just your hands on the floor. Again, we'll start by lifting ourselves up out of the pelvis. So you create a little bit of space for your forward fold. And then lengthen spine fold from your hip crease. You can either keep your hands on the floor or, as I said, a cushion or a block, or take your forearms down to the floor. So just arrive. Again, notice what you notice here. So if we'd come straight into this pose, it would feel very different. But as we've already worked the left and the right side, probably feel a little bit more space coming here. So just soften into that. Notice where you feel your edges here. So you could keep your head lifted so that the neck remains in line with the spine. Or if it was comfortable, you could take your head down, either onto some blocks, so maybe your head will come all the way to the floor, or onto your hands, you could stack them up. So again, just see what feels comfortable for your body right now. If that's causing any tension in your neck, just change it. And just notice the quietening effect of the forward fold. Noticing your inhale and your exhale. And perhaps your edges are moving as you stay here. So you might start off with more tension and then soften, and then arrive into somewhere else that's more tension again. So just stay fully present. And then slowly, mindfully, just walk yourself back. You can take your feet back on the floor. Just let the knees fall from side to side again. And then we're going to come all the way onto our backs for banana asana so that we get working into a side bend. So we're moving the spine through all of its movements: forward fold, back bend, twist, and side bend. So this one is your side bend. So come right into the center of your mat. Hips are right in the center. And we'll start by taking our legs over to the right-hand side. So hips in the center, right foot goes over towards the right edge at the front of the mat. And then my left heel is lifted up and placed on top of my right ankle. If that's too intense or not comfortable, just place your feet, ankles side by side. Still keeping my hips in the center, I'll lift my upper body, shift my shoulders over to the top right hand part of the mat. And then I'll bring my arms overhead, bending my arms, letting the backs of the arms, the shoulders, the backs of the hands come to the floor here. Just really softening into this. Letting the arms become heavy. And then just notice, can you feel an edge here? So maybe there's no sensation along the left side of the body. If that's the case, create a deeper curve by lifting a little bit further over towards the right-hand side with the feet and the upper body before settling. You can also work a little bit deeper into your shoulders by straightening your arms and keeping them on the floor, taking the right thumb and the first finger and just wrapping around your left wrist. If that's too intense, just bend your elbows, let them become heavy. Just arrive into this shape. Is there any habitual holding in the body that you can soften, let go of here? Something that you've just noticed. Checking in again. Are the sensations you're feeling static or changing? We'll just take 2 more breaths here. And then just thinking about moving back to the center, lifting your left leg, bring it back to the center, and your right. And then upper body, bring the back of head on the floor and maybe arms down by your side just for a moment. Just pause here, let the feet fall out to the side. See if you can notice a difference here between the left and the right side of your body. Perhaps one side feels a little longer than the other, or not. So keeping your hips in the center, we'll work into the right side of the body by taking the left heel over towards the front of the mat, left-hand side, and then place the right heel on top of that if that's comfortable. Keep your hips in the center. Shimmy the upper body over towards the top left-hand corner of the mat. And then you've got those options with the arms. So you could have this bend in the arms with the back of the hands and shoulders on the floor. You might be feeling enough of an opening here. Or if you'd like to go for a little deeper pose here, you can begin to straighten your arms. But as you do this, see if you can allow them to come to the floor as well. So whatever arm shape suits your body now, just arrive into it. Just feel gravity working through the pose to let the shoulders and back of the arms arrive more fully on the floor. And as you pause here at your first edge, notice, can you feel anything here? And if not, go that little bit deeper and then soften again. So creating space along the right side of the body. So one of the many benefits of Yin, as we really focus on working with the connective tissue, is that we also work with the meridians. So by creating all this space deep into the connective tissue, just helps the energy to flow more easily through the body. So just soften into your experience here. And then just think about moving. And we'll lift the right leg and bring it back to the center. And then bring the left leg back to meet it. Lift the upper body. Take your arms down by your side. Just pause here for a moment. Let the feet flop out to the side. Feel the back of the body on the floor. And then we'll place our feet on the floor. So we're coming into a twist here. So you can either just keep your legs together for a simpler twist and let them fall over to the left-hand side. Or we'll wrap our right leg over your left for our twisted root. So either single wrap or double. Press down into your foot to lift the hips up and then scoot them 2 inches to the right. We bring our arms straight out from the shoulders if you have the space on your floor, palms facing up. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, let the legs just fall to the left-hand side. So you can either keep your head here in the center or lift the head, turn the gaze slightly to the right, place the head back down on the mat. Inhale slowly back to center. Unwrap your legs. Press down into your feet just to lift the hips up, bring them back to center. Pause for a moment. Feel the back of the hips, the pelvis on the floor. And then we'll move to the other side. So left leg over right. So you're crossing at the thighs, either single or double wrap for twisted root. Press down into your foot to lift the hips up. Scoot them 2 inches to the left. And then let the knees just fall to the right-hand side. You can either keep the back of the head heavy on the floor here, or lift the head, turn the gaze slightly to the left, and place the head back down. So just feel gravity working through the body in the twist. So releasing you a little bit closer to the floor, deepening the twist. I like to think of twists as just squeezing out any tension that might have built up over the day. So just last couple of breaths here in your twist. And then we'll slowly bring the legs back to the center and unwrap the legs. Press down into your feet just to lift the hips up, bring it back into the midline and place the hips on the floor. Just pause here, just feel the hips arriving. And then we'll take our knees in just to finish off. Our postures, draw your knees into your chest, hug them in actively as you press the lower back into the floor. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, lift your head, chin to chest, nose to knee. Take a deep breath in here, squeeze everything, feet, hands, and face. And as you exhale, soften and make your way into your final shape, Shavasana. So either stretching out fully on the floor, palms facing up, or coming into another position that is comfortable for you to relax into. And just closing your eyes. And just allowing the full weight of your body to be held here on the floor, to be supported. Just giving yourself permission to relax, giving yourself permission to let go. Noticing the space in and around you. Noticing the touch of air against your skin. Noticing the beat of your heart. And that subtle pulsing of prana, life force. Noticing the movement of your breath. Notice how spacious the breath moves easily through you. Notice how the breath has slowed down and the spaces between the breath have become larger. Just moving slowly, mindfully towards stillness. And this evening's reading, weather the storm. Storms come, the lightning flashes, thunder rolls. Sometimes the hail pounds so loudly and incessantly it becomes frightening. Sometimes storms do damage, but storms are not forever. Just as nature plays out her storms, sometimes with violence, sometimes with gray days, sometimes with gentle cleansing rain. We also have storms in our lives, storms in our soul. Storms are part of life, part of growth, part of the journey. Light a candle, wrap up warm, make yourself safe and secure. Then wait for the storm to pass, knowing that it will. Let peace return. Let security return. Let joy and meaning come back. A certain faith that you have a purpose in your life and that you're on track. And just invite a deeper breath into your body here. Invite some small movement back into your hands, your feet. And then taking a fuller body stretch, whatever way feels right for your body right now. Maybe a yawn or a sigh or some sound. And placing your feet on the floor if they're not already there. And just rolling onto your left side, your yin side. We'll just pause for one full breath in and out on your left side. And then when you're ready, just slowly press yourself up to a comfortable seat. And once you arrive, we'll take one hand to the heart, one hand to the abdomen. And again, just pause to feel beneath your hands. And bring to mind one blessing in your life. And just bring that to the forefront of your mind. And then we close our practice by placing our hands together, Anjali Mudra at heart center. And we'll take a breath in as we lengthen from the tailbone to the crown of the head. And as we exhale, we bow firstly to ourselves for showing up and to each other. Namaste.